Okay, now that we are all done and we're cured, let's go ahead and give it a nice sand and head on over to put some decals on. Okay, so you shouldn't have to do a lot of sanding. If you let your epoxy warm up, it should have been coated pretty evenly here on the sides. Your roughest spots are going to be around your edges. This tends to be a problem area for a lot of people right here. This is a 120 sand grit sanding block. So you're going to want to take your sanding block and lightly pass over it in a circular motion, right along the edge of the cup. Stay away from the side of the cup. Try to focus just on the very edge of your cup in a circular motion. Then I take it, lay it flat right on the top, and sand back and forth. You should have a nice smooth edge. If you still have some pesky little pokey guys sticking up, take your razor and just slice it right off. You don't want to sand too much because then you can probably get down past the epoxy and down to your glitter. And if it's not a fine polyester, it's going to tarnish. Take the bottom of your cup and do the same, but light pressure right along the edge. You shouldn't have to do too much sanding if your epoxy was warm and you got good coverage. And then along the sides, I always do a light pass. Now the block is really good because you can grip it very well and you can control the pressure. Once you're done sanding, go ahead and give it a light spritz with some 92% isopropyl alcohol and wipe it down. Should be squeaky clean. All right, you're done. Let's go decal. First thing you want to do is measure the size of your decal and the placement. So I'm thinking I want to have, let's go with a 5-inch name. And the client wants her name flowing with the veins of the cup. So it's going to go sideways. The software that I use is Silhouette Studio, and let's go ahead and write her name out. I'm gonna come over here to my text and type her name out. Her name happens to be Nicole, just like mine, so this should be pretty easy. I'm going to click it again, select my name, come to the right side and hit the text options. And we're gonna go with a flowy cursive. Let's go with angel heart. Maybe Charlotte? This is always the hardest part, is trying to figure out which fonts to use, because some names look great with certain fonts and other names aren't that great of a fit. Fonts always look different depending on the name, so I always want to make sure that I test out a few before I decide on one. I never want to get a font that has too skinny of a style. Sometimes the blade for the Silhouette doesn't really like to make the lines too thin. I think I'm gonna go with Rosewood Cottage. And I'm just going to drag it out because I want it to be floaty. Right click, weld it, select it again, just so that you get all your pieces together, and you want to group it. All right, there we have it. So we wanted a 5-inch name, give or take. Let's count our squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should be good. We have a 5-inch name. All right, next thing you want to do is you want to make sure it's right there, tucked up into the left-hand corner of your screen. This is going to be your cut area. Okay, but you don't want to touch that red line. That's the border of where it cuts off. Let's go ahead and place our vinyl on our cutting mat. My cutting mat has had lots of work, so I usually have to put a piece of tape down right at the top because I use this little area a lot, and that's a little trick you want to use sometimes if you're in a pinch and you don't want to run out to the store. Just throw a piece of double-sided tape on there. Place it down on your mat, give it a nice press down. And let's head over to the machine. Line the edge of your cutting mat right up against your little margins right here, and you're gonna load your mat. Head over back to your computer. We're gonna send our decal, and then check everything and make sure it's glossy. And the speeding looks fine. When it's all said and done, go ahead and hit send at the bottom right hand side of your screen. When it's all finished, hit your unload button, grab your mat, and gently lift your vinyl. Go ahead and cut out your decal and get to weeding. Your double-sided tape should still be on the back of your vinyl, and a little trick that I like to do when I'm weeding is I keep the vinyl stuck down to my table with that double-sided tape. Pull your corner up and gently rock your vinyl back and forth as it weeds through your cut. Nice and slow. Pull out your voided areas. Take your transfer tape, place it over your decal, press down, get ready to lift. Flip it over. Hold it down on the table and do the same rocking back and forth as you remove the backing of your vinyl. Carefully flip it back over and you should have the decal ready to be placed. I always kind of give it one last glance and twist and twirl just to check out to see exactly where it is I want to place my vinyl. I don't want to cover up any special details or features that I like. So I'm just gonna probably stick it in a place that has a lot of jumbled up veins. So let's see, I think this is a good spot. So we will stick it right there. Kind of hold it up, place the middle on there. Work your way from the middle out and pressing down that decal. Then I trace my finger over it, pull back, voila, decal applied. All right, let's go epoxy for the last time. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and put on our thin layer of epoxy. Gently working it back and forth. We're gonna hit the brim of our cup lightly and those bottom edges. Let your cup spin for about 4 or 5 hours and then let it rest. And then when we're done, we're gonna take some pictures. All right, that about does it. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please give it a good thumbs up and stay tuned for more Tumbler tutorials. This week's shout out goes to BPL Coatings, showing off those serious skills there. Nice.